Welcome to the Foundry. I'm Josh Watson.
I'm Michael Whitfield.
So as long as there is some kind of way to get money down to people so they can spend it, whether it be universal basic income or whatever it is, that you would basically have more or less an automated utopia type situation. And then human beings can work on that next level, right? They can work on their social relationships because they have all the time in the world to do that.
But will we do it? That is the question.
You think the WALL-E reality is probably more likely?
I love that movie. It's adorable.
What do you think we'll do with all that time?
That's pretty funny too. You know, like I had forgotten about WALL-E. How those people evolved into just little fat guys on their scooters. And their bones don't even work anymore. It's crazy. Yeah, I mean, I don't really have that much to say on the subject because I guess I just think about the dark side of it more than anything and how things are going to go wrong up until that point. But I mean, in that point, you know, we've experienced this as a society, you know, not necessarily in America, but more like, you know, the Renaissance era and over there in the Europes. And so, yeah, I know you see people pursue things like, you know, arts and less application, more frivolous, you know. But we've also spoke about, I mean, this is kind of a little bit off topic, but good art comes from people's pain and things they've experienced in their life. So a utopia full of artists never have to suffer at all for anything. Is that really going to be any good?
But
terrible art.
They're going to suffer anyways.
Yeah, they're going to be bored.
Yeah, like my father used to always say, right? Like, if people have nothing to worry about, they worry about nothing. You know what I mean? So they'll find a way, even if it's just like, oh, well, you know, Gina gave me a dirty look, so now I'm angry, you know what I mean? Like, even though we don't have anything to really worry about, I'm going to fester on this because the only thing in my world that matters right now is the fact that someone gave me a dirty look. I mean, that's kind of the world that we can have in a situation like that, where, you know, people will still have angst, but it'll be different kind of thing. I mean, imagine like someone from 200 years ago hearing about today's angst. You know what I mean? Like, oh,
they'd laugh their ass off.
Exactly. They'd be like, oh yeah, I don't feel like I'm fulfilling my purpose in life. And, you know, doing the things that really matter to me. And they'd be like, yeah, some old farmer 20 years ago be like, you know, I'm just lucky if I can feed my kids. You know what I mean? Like, I don't get gangrene. You know what I mean? Like, those are my goals today. Like, feed the kids, don't lose a limb. Like, that's the overall. That was my list of things that mattered. You know what I mean? Like, you know, worrying about whether or not someone was offended or someone hurt my feelings.
True.
So what you're getting at is we just really shouldn't even try because no matter what, we're never going to be happy.
Well, no, I don't think human beings can ever reach true happiness. I mean, you think rich people who already have a world where, you know, they have plenty and abundance, they're not truly happy.
Well, that's where the self-actualization comes in.
Right. Well, that's exactly it. Like, that's where you have to really. An interesting idea, then, right? Because if the goal of humanity becomes self-actualization, there is an opportunity to make money helping people achieve self-actualization. There's one of those new businesses that we talked about. Like, people don't think about it today.
It's like a life coach.
Right. Well, it's kind of like a life coach, but it's someone who's like, you know, someone like a yogi, right? Like,
yeah, exactly.
I've reached self-actualization, and now my job is to help other people reach it in some kind of way.
You see Silicon Valley? Gavin Belson?
I have not.
He has a yogi like that, but the yogi just like makes fun of him because his angst is like so like unfounded. It's hilarious.
That does sound pretty good.
You should watch Silicon Valley. It's great. Yeah.
Well,
anyways,
like I said, well, that is. I mean, that's one of those new jobs I think people aren't thinking about. You know what I mean? Is once you get all this time, you know, okay, yeah, the job is to basically help people find meaning in a world where they don't have anything to create.
We just need to give them Fubu cranks.
Fubu cranks, right? Yeah, right. And then the what was it? Something boxes. I can't remember.
Yeah, I don't know.
Rick and Morty reference, people. Don't worry about it. Like, yeah.
For self-actualization, you just have to crank this.
Right.
Crank this.
That's your purpose. You're just cranking cranking the crank. Making
the crank of life.
Gears turn to run the battery in Rick's car.
You can't just put micro in front of something and it's...
Right, microverse. The my teeny verse. You can't just call it a teeny verse. Yeah, so that could be one version of reality. We're just all doing cranks all day. Yeah. But then you gotta think, okay, like in a utopia, right? So let's say we do end up with it. People don't have to work anymore, right? It's just, you know, 100 years from now, AI is doing most of the work. There's a small group of people who control most of the resources. And, you know, they're the ones who are doing better resource-wise, but they have to actually do some work and run things. And then
do they, though? Because you get those middle ground people that, you know, want more than universal health care, but they're not the owners. So, got those middle ground people, I think. There still will be some.
Yeah.
But not much.
Well, I mean, the people who want more, everyone wants more. I mean, some people, not everyone.
But they'll never have, I own the AI, I tell it what to do. Those people won't be working.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, in 100 years from now, you know, hopefully, let's say 80% of the population doesn't have to work, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's just 20% that has to work. And, but they live a better lifestyle. They have more. Because people, you know, part of human beings is to have more, right? And there's some people, like me, I'm a person who's driven that way, right? Like I need to, every time I get a little bit, I want a little more. That's a very human thing. But some people who just like, I don't care about material goods. You know what I mean? I got a buddy who's just like, yeah, like Mike over here. Mike, you know, Michael worked for peanuts if I paid him peanuts.
I don't know about that. There is a sense of appreciation for one's work that is required. But yeah, I pretty much will spend my money on just computers and stuff. So I want sushi and computers.
Right, it's a pretty nice lifestyle.
Yeah. Together in one. Computational sushi.
Well,
how many fish? How many fish?
So
how many pieces of rice?
So you'd be happy in a universe where you have to work anymore. You can just do whatever you want all day long.
Oh God.
See, I would probably blow my brains out in that world because I'm a person who's always been driven and defines myself by the type of work I do. I've always been the kid. I've always been the computer guy. You know what I mean? The programmer. You know what I mean? Ever since I was a kid, and so like I think if I ever lost that part of my self-identity, I'd struggle with it. If I was just like Josh, the guy who wakes up at noon and watches Rick and Morty all day, you know what I mean? Like that would probably really bum me out.
I can understand that. I guess it took me kind of a long time to find that, like, I wasn't defined by what I do on a day-to-day basis, but more of like the things that I guess the way I think about things. I don't know.
Maybe one day I'll reach your level of enlightenment and I won't have to work.
I don't think you can do
it. I'm still down here in resources, you know what I mean?
He's worried about food.
Right.
I eat him for breakfast.
I about food a lot. But, yeah, I mean, so in that world, AI is doing everything. People don't have to work anymore. Some groups that work to have a little more, but for the most part, everyone's just kind of like doing whatever they feel like. You still have massive depression.
I think so.
I mean,
and people can't get past that.
Yeah, people like, I mean, because I think people get more depressed if they're sitting around all day not doing anything.
Yeah, I mean, we're wired to do something.
That's it, like my wife and I, you know, like when things like slow down at the office, like I get depressed. Like I'm glad that it hasn't happened in a long time, but it used to happen because like you have time to start thinking about things and getting yourself down on stuff, you know what I mean? And like you get inside your own head, start thinking about things from 10 years ago, you know what I mean? Next thing you know, you're,
do I ever?
Right, you're like torturing yourself all day long. So like I love being busy because I'm like, you know, running away from my problems, you know what I mean? Like, keep my mind going on other things.
That's why, like, if you look at the mathematicians from like the 1900s, you know, the ones that made the real, you know, remarkable things, almost all of them were tortured, you know what I mean? And they died by the time they were like 30, 35. It's like they just completely buried themselves in work to avoid something. Like, very...
Well, like, a lot of successful people, like a lot of like people you remember throughout history were tortured souls when you learn about them, right? Because it was just like, if I want to keep my hands moving, my mind busy, those thoughts can't catch up with me.
Sadness won't come for me,
Exactly. You know, keep those negative thoughts away by keeping my mind preoccupied on something else.